What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Marvel Legends Marvel Knights series, Daredevil. Here we do have Daredevil from the Netflix series, and I am really happy I finally have this guy in hand. We do have Daredevil here. You can see he does come with his billy clubs, some alternate sets of hands, and then Man-Thing's head, which is a Build-A-Figure and all this. Not too excited about Man-Thing, but I was excited about this wave. On the side, really lovely image of the Netflix Daredevil. On the back, we do have an image of the figure plus a little bio. Blinded as a young boy and imbued with extraordinary senses, Matt Murdock fights injustice by day as a lawyer, and by nights he is a superhero Daredevil, the devil of Hell's Kitchen. Well, again, the figure right here. Other figures of this line do include Daredevil, of course, Punisher, Elektra, Jessica Jones, Blade, and Bullseye, and then we do have the completed Man-Thing when all is said and done. So now that that's out of the way, let's actually take a little break, get him opened up, and then we'll go on to the rest of his review. So sit tight, everyone. And so here we have Daredevil out of the packaging, and before we get onto the figure, let's actually show off his Build-A-Figure piece. He does come with the head of Man-Thing, which, as I said, not really excited for Man-Thing, so I don't really know what to expect from the figure. But let's move on to Daredevil, because he is a main attraction right here. And I have to say, really happy that we got a Netflix-style Daredevil. This was actually one figure that I've actually been wanting for a really long time. And I did not expect that we would ever get Netflix series figures, because, you know, they're not part of the main cinematic universe. I know we did get Agent Coulson and Maria Hill, and they're Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but the Netflix series is something in its own, and I have to say, not disappointed with this figure, although there are some issues I have with it. And let me just point that out really fast, and it has to do with his holster right here. Now, he does store his weapons, well, his baton, billy club, whatever you want to call it, right here in his holster. My main complaint is that the holster is actually attached on the figure wrong, and it's not just on my figure, it's on every single Daredevil figure that is out there. This is glued on wrong. I'm actually going to put a picture up right here, and you can see that his holster is upside down. Like, you can clearly see from this image versus the figure that the holster is upside down, and I'm surprised nobody has pointed that out yet. So what's up with that, Hasbro? It's something that I know a lot of people are just going to overlook and say, it's not a big deal, but I don't know, it kind of irks me knowing now that the holster is wrong, but that is just me. Okay, that little rant is over. Going on to the figure, I really do love the way this figure came out, and I have to say, one of my favorite figures that I've gotten in recent memories. Let's actually go on to his accessories first. Now, he does come with 2 sets of hands. We do get the hands that he has on him right now, which are used to hold his billy club. And then we also do get clenched fist hands, so let's actually zoom in and show those off. So you can have him fist fighting or using the billy club or the staff, however you want to have it. My preferred look is probably going to be the open hand so that he can hold the billy club, but those do come out fairly easy, and you can peg them back in, no problem. Let's just pull that out really fast. And the articulation is the same for both of them. They both have that hinge swivel. While we're at it, let's actually take a look at the details. Well, wait, we haven't even shown off his billy club. He does have his billy club, which is his final accessory. Unfortunately, we don't get an alternate head, which I'm okay with. But the billy club is a really nice accessory. Really accurate to the show that one side is longer than the other. And I do love the fact that they made this out of gray plastic and then painted this red, although I'm a little worried that the red will start peeling off eventually, so be aware of that. And it does have a tab, so you can peg it in and have the actual staff, or you can have them with the 2 sticks, so that's really up to you. And like I said, they do peg on to his, well, not peg on, but they do slide into his holster right here, like so. And like I said, it kind of irks me about that. But anyway, let's move on to the details of the figure really fast. I'm going to say it's really, really amazing the way they were able to use a print dot matrix, whatever you want to call it, the photoreal tech right here on Daredevil. You can actually see they did a really good job making the eyes glossy. You can see it reflects the light really well. And it kind of does look like Charlie Cox under the mask, which that's really, really nice. I kind of would have liked to see a Charlie Cox unmasked head, but as it stands, this is really good. And this is the Season 1 Daredevil cowl. You can see it does have the ears and the armor plating. Season 2, at the start of it, you know, he had some black right here, and then he did change the helmet and the, what's called the forearm right here, but we'll talk about that if they ever release a Season 2 Daredevil, which I don't see them doing. But overall, just look at that texture on the costume. They did a really good job. Although it's not 100% accurate for what they did, it looks phenomenal. Although his elbows do look a little wonky because they do look kind of shrimpy. But I really do love the dark red and the black. And if you've seen the show, the red protects against knives and the black provides the most protection. Was that the way it went, or is it the other way around? But either way, they did a really good job sculpting him. You can see all this Kevlar-like weave. Although it's not really Kevlar, it's something that Melvin made. But overall, really, really like this figure. So we're actually going to have Daredevil move off to the side really fast so we can bring in comic book Daredevil and compare the two figures. So let's move him right there. And bring in comic book Daredevil, and as you can see, huge difference on the characters. And honestly, as nice as this figure was, I did have a couple of issues, especially with the reds and the logo not being highlighted enough. We are getting another Daredevil later on, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But as it stands, I kind of like the Netflix Daredevil more than comic book Daredevil. Maybe that'll change when we get the new Daredevil. But yeah, really loving this figure. They did a really good job. And let's move on to his articulation now. Now, there are some points that don't work as well as you would expect them to, and I'll point those out as I hit them. He does have some slight tilt in the head, so he can tilt his head left and right. So, some up and down on that ball joint, and of course we get a swivel. Standard hinge at the neck, like all the new modern day Marvel Legends, Shoulders are on a ball peg, and they go out to about here. They can go in further, but I have noticed, and I'm actually going to show that off, that it is rubbing against the plastic. You can actually see his shoulder is starting to cut into the plastic. So really you're only getting that much movement out of his shoulder. You're not going to be getting too much play out of it, which is unfortunate, but I really don't want to mess up that sculpt. So arms go out to about there. They do a full 360. And you can even see it starting to show up on this side as well. So it's not the ideal design, but it's still a really nice looking figure. He has a bicep swivel, double jointed in the elbow, has a hinge and swivel at the wrist. Does have an ab crunch which goes back about that far, forward pretty far. He does have a waist swivel which is nice and tight. Legs go forward about that far. They could go out more, but they start going off to the side. Go back about that far. If he has his billy clubs, that's as far as you're going to... Actually, no, it does go further, but be aware if you have his billy clubs in, it will start bending the billy clubs, so do be aware of that, but his legs do go out. A little better than most Spider-Man figures that we're getting, which is surprising. He has a thigh swivel right here under this, what is it, the strap. Double jointed knees. Pretty good range. We have a hinge in the ankle which goes forward, or up and down, and forward facing pin for rock your ankle. So overall, really good articulation here from Daredevil. So what I'm going to do now is take a little break, get him posed, and move on to my final thoughts. That will wrap up this review. So sit tight, everyone. And here we have Daredevil posed for my final thoughts. Overall, I really do like this figure, and probably my favorite Daredevil figure that I own. I only own two. I own the Netflix Daredevil and the comic book Daredevil that you saw just right now. But as I said, I really do like this figure, although he does have some issues, especially with the shoulders not going into the torso properly. And it's just a personal pet peeve of mine that the holster is completely wrong. I know I can undo it, and I don't know how the peg system works, so I don't know if it is possible to even flip it. But still, even with that, I still love this figure and the way it came out. Now, I ordered the Marvel Knights wave from Big Bad Toy Store. I didn't want to go through the hassle of trying to track each and every single one of them down at retail, so I just ordered them all from Big Bad Toy Store, and I had to say, so far, Daredevil is looking like my favorite figure, although that can change because, you know, Punisher's in this wave, and I am a huge Punisher fan. But anyway, they are popping up at retail now, this entire wave, and it's going to run you about $20, the average for Marvel Legends figures. If you can find them, definitely take a look at them, especially Daredevil here if you're a fan of the Netflix series, because I am, and I just had to get this figure. But with that being said, guys, I'm King of Dragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go check out all my other action figure reviews. All my Marvel Legend reviews are also up, so go ahead and check those out. And while you're at it, let me know if there's a figure you would like to see me review, and if there's room for it in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.